you want the people to enjoy it. And if you're up there just about to fall over and tired and exhausted, and that just sucks for everybody. And then the main thing, I want to be here for my family when I
I did some research. First, I just watching your video, Hell of It. I need to know the backstory if it was based on something true.
it's all true.
That's
Every inch of it.
Mhm.
Um, Hell of it. I just had that idea. I woke up at like 4 in the morning. And so when I'm writing for a project, say we need three more songs or whatever, my wife Rose, she's a singer-songwriter. She's a hardcore everyday songwriter. Um, and I'll let her know we need some more songs. So she'll kind of arrange co-writes for us. And with that one, we had a write the next day with Daniel Etheridge and Seth Mosley and with Rose,
Mhm.
and woke up at 4 a.m. and said, I got an idea. I think it's just called Hell of It. And she said, I like it. I like it a lot. I said, I think it should be like if you're going through hell meets take a back road, but about some badass couples and that just kind of work through it. And she said, we need to just write our story. And she was absolutely right. So she kind of helped assemble that. And that's our story pretty much. The whole first verse, getting engaged in Vegas,
Oh, no
having
kidding.
kids.
Ooh.
And so, yeah, she drove that train. I had the idea, man, and then she put it all together.
Ooh. Where'd you get married at in Vegas?
We didn't get married in Vegas. I
Oh, okay.
proposed in
Oh, okay.
Vegas.
Okay.
We
We
got
got
married in Florida.
oh, we got married. We got married in Vegas. So
Nice.
yes.
That's a good way to do it.
Yes. Was that a benefit for you then? Is that having your wife as a co-writer, a writing partner?
Oh my God. Yeah. She's the secret to, man, my drive, my the last few years I think I've written the best songs I've ever written are with her.
Mhm.
She sings around corners. A lot of young male artists write with her. That's kind of what she does to help them figure out who they are and how to write songs that will separate them from the rest of the fray out there. And she's just great at it. She does so many things in a room because one person might be just lyrics, somebody might be just melody, and she kind of does it all. And with her, at first it was hard because we were trying. I thought we had to write the end all be all of all songs that's ever been written. Um, and she said, "We just need to finish the songs. What we need to do." So I take my time, and she's very fast at writing songs. And we've kind of come together and meet in the middle, and we have a lot of fun. It's a blast writing songs together. I love it.
I mean, she also like a part-time fact checker too, and part of the stories or part of your lyrics, and say, you know what, Ron, you didn't get that part of our story right. We got to do it a little differently, or
Yeah, for sure. And we work at, I record at home. I've always made records at home. I'll go in the studio and maybe track a few instruments, but then I come home and make the records here. And she's popping in saying that melody's wrong, or um, I think it needs another verse, or she sings background on all the records. And we've done a duet project together called Rod and Rose.
Mhm.
So she's involved with it, kind of every aspect of it, even songs that I might find that are outside songs that I didn't write. She's involved with almost everything.
I
My
was asked
inspiration.
I was asked this question. I mean, this may be a different way, a different spin on it. How, when you, as a creative, as a writer, how do you know when that song is finished? And now with your wife as part of it, do you guys go back and forth like, okay, I like it, let it as is. No, I want something else to add to it. Does it make it more difficult, more better, or more challenging?
Dude, it is difficult, especially making a record. Songwriting is the first part, but you're still writing and creating the song. A lot of it happens after you've written the lyrics and the melody, and you get in the studio and you're making a record. A lot of people, I think nowadays, because there's so many samples and you can, uh, without playing instruments, a lot of people record songs, but they don't make records. There's a big difference. Um, I can remember hearing stuff like, I don't know, Little Red Corvette.
Mhm.
and thinking that's a record, man, from top to bottom. And you go look at, Mutt Lange, Def Leppard, AC/DC, Bon Jovi, Slippery When Wet. Those are records. And there's a big difference between just getting a song recorded and making an event. And the toughest thing is to know when a record is done. When it you take somebody on a ride from start to finish and it grows and it checks all the boxes that it's supposed to do. That's the hardest thing for me because I'll keep working and working and working and lose sight of it after a while. And that's where Rose helps me out a lot. She'll tell me, I think it's done. I think you're good to go. And she does records on her own. She has her own artist stuff that she does. And but she does it to herself. She beats herself up. She said, "I don't think it's done. I think it needs more." And I can tell her then, "No, this is great. This is as it should be." So we help each other out like that.
Now, is there one song that comes to mind maybe that like you thought was finished or wasn't finished, and she put the brakes on and said, let's finish it up, wrap it up, and it turned out to be exceeded any of your expectations?
There's been so many of them, man. Tunes that we've written together. There's a song that I loved called "My Life" on my last record on Caught Up in the Country album, and I love that song. And I could never get it right. It was just all over the place, and it got real complicated. And I put everything you can
Mhm.
imagine on it. I put from banjos to string sections to everything. And she's just told me you're overthinking it. And so finally, I got an acoustic guitar down and played a part. And I think she said, I think that's it. That's all. You need to simplify it. That was a big one that really made a difference. And at the same time, there's a tune that she and I wrote uh, with a guy named Brandon Hood called "Mary Had a Little Lamb," and it's a Christmas song. And we recorded it as Rod and Rose as a duet. And we wrote it, and I thought it was done. I thought this is great, this is perfect. And she is the one that kept saying, "No, the second verse isn't right." And she kept working on it and kept working on it. And when she was done, she was right. She improved the song.
Well, as a partner, as a husband and wife, I mean, are you like frustrated, rolling your eyes? No, it's done. Or are you like kind of like, okay, I'll let you take the reins here and finish it off?
And not at this point. I'm grateful. I trust her. We trust that all we want is the best for each other. And when you have that trust, when you're in a writing room and you're co-writing with people, it only works if you all agree we're not trying, we don't need another song. None of us need another song. You need a great song. And as long as we believe we're all in this to make this the best song, it's like a marriage and a family in the household. We're in agreement. We just want the best for each other. We want this household and our kids to grow up, do the best job that we can. And so you trust each other, and we have a tremendous amount of trust, whatever we're doing. I think that's why it ultimately works.
So is that like the best songwriting, the best way to have a songwriting combo is to have somebody that close to you?
For me, it's yes. Yeah, it definitely is. And she gets in a room and she comes home someday when she's been in the room with other people, and she'll be just frustrated because somebody won't want to bounce stuff back and forth, or that they want to sit there and not say anything and just think about it. And that's, if you solo write by yourself, that's great. But when you're co-writing, you kind of got to have a back and forth because you might say something and that takes my mind somewhere, and I say, "Yeah, and what about this?" And that's when it's a blast. That's when it's a whole lot of fun putting that puzzle together.
How is that whole process now? It's like 20 years now since going through hell. Lonnie, is it 20 years, 25 years? How,
Oh yeah,
what has the
yeah. I
process
moved
been like?
here.
How has it changed now from today, from back then?
Oh God, dude. Uh, in every way. Um, so when I moved here 30 years ago to Nashville. Um, that's kind of before the Napster thing when people say you can't download music. They're stealing music. Um, it was, I guess, CDs were kind of it. You bought music at record stores, Walmart, country music, Target, places like that. And now I can write a song today, and tomorrow a million people can hear the song. You can post it immediately. It's crazy to write a song, be able to put that song out there on social media, and go do a show the next day, and the people know the song that you just wrote, that it's that new. That's crazy. That's the coolest thing in the world. Um, Other than that, I mean, the technology, everyone can make records at home now. Back when I started doing it, it was kind of almost, people didn't believe that I did it, that I made those records back then at home. But you can do that now. You can do so many things. Um, and I don't know, it's just, it's a different time completely. Um, and in a way, it's wild because I think country music is getting back to the way records were made in the 90s and the 2000s. Now people come up and are asking me about records that I made back then. And it's pretty interesting, the types of songs that people are interested in now, and it's very cool. I love the path that it's on.
Well, what's different for you now as far as not just singing, but just longevity wise? What's kept you going at the top of your game from 20 years ago to today? And have you had to change anything or adapt or
Uh, Sure, I mean, I have. I mean, I love music. I believe that music can serve a purpose and touch people. I'm not trying to. I took a different path years ago, and at first, my record label was questioning my song taste because they wanted me to record love songs. and and I'm like, everybody records love songs. They're like, they're because that's the easiest song to get played. And I started going in this direction of life songs, like um, if you're going through hell, and watching you, um, song about my son, or cleaning this gun, a father-daughter song that had a sense of humor in it. Um, Take a back road. These are my people. And they question, they're like, are you sure this is what you're into? Because these are not the easiest songs to get played. If you can get them played, if people hear them and it works, you can have a long career. So my goal is always to remain relevant as long as I could. And I think the songs that I've had hits, fortunately, are as relevant now as they were 20, 30 years ago. Um, so that part of it, I love music. I don't think I'm a great singer. I say I'm a song mechanic. I just figure if I work hard enough at it, I can make a great record, and I'll go on the road and do the best that I possibly can. And I love people. My favorite thing about what I do is going out there, and it's the people that you get to see every night. Um, in that regard, I don't think anything has really changed. Um, I stay pretty sane, just trying to kind of maximize what I do. Um, it's the basic stuff, man. You try to eat right, you try to uh, stay physical, push some weight, get things going, and just breathe and try to de-stress as much as possible because it'll get you. It'll really get you if you let it.
what do you have to do differently? Is there anything different as far as performance wise? I mean, as far as back 20 years ago to today, are you doing anything different? Does it feel different? Do you still feel as good as you were 25 years ago? Are you moving around the stage the same way? Is it still?
It's crazy. Yeah, I actually do. The shows are the same energy. It's the same. Um, the crowd is everything. The energy from a crowd is magic. To go somewhere, doesn't matter where, um, and you all lose track of time and you forget where you are for that 90 minutes that we're up there is the coolest thing ever. I mean, even the times that I've got to play USO tours and I'm in Afghanistan at a fob with a bunch of Marines and Army medics in the middle of nowhere, and we're standing out there singing Farmer's Daughter, and you kind of forget where you are.
Mhm.
That's magic. And I'm in a folding chair with a guitar. That's it's an amazing thing. The adrenaline is amazing, and I don't think it's really changed that much for me. Years ago, oh man, 2007, 2006, 2007. I played some shows in Colorado, and by the end of and I had three shows. By the end of the first show, man, I couldn't get the words out. I was like out of breath. I'm like, what is happening? This is insane. And I hadn't thought about altitude.
Mm.
And so I pushed through it, came back, and I'd never had a vocal lesson or anything. And so I asked around for a vocal coach or what do I need to do? Go to a Vanderbilt Voice Center or something's wrong. And I went to a vocal coach. Her name was Janet Kenyon. She said, sing for me. So I did. And she said, well, you breathe wrong. You breathe completely wrong. She said, you talk wrong too, but that is what it is. And she put me through some vocal exercises and she helped me build this program of a warm up, of about a 20-minute warm up of mostly breathing that I do every night now. I don't care if I'm singing one song or a 90-minute show. And since then, I've never, occasionally you're not completely feeling great or something. It might be a struggle, but I've never had that trouble again. And I just commit to it like a workout every single time. I'll do those breathing exercises and I have to do that. Um, and I'm tighter on my kind of my schedule during the day, what I eat. Like I cut out caffeine on show days and things like that. I take that very serious. Because you just have to. You want to feel great. You want to give everybody a great experience every night.
Why the what was the caffeine doing to you?
Um, it kind of just well, so I'll even tell you this. So back in, let me find the date. Back in about May of this year. So I lost my mom back in February,
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
and oh, thank you. And I had just come back. I did a tour in the Middle East for a few weeks, and then about somewhere in May, um, I had this crazy blood pressure stuff. I couldn't figure it out. It just kind of came out of nowhere. And I got into Vanderbilt and they did all kinds of tests. I even wound up at the Mayo Clinic, them trying to sort this out. It's just out of control blood pressure, out of nowhere. But I had every test in the world. I found out that all my parts are good,
Mhm.
from my heart, my anything inside. They scanned it all, PET scans, MRIs, echocardiograms. They're like, huh, what is the deal? And it wound up um, basically that it was just stress, some hormones that got out of check, and lack of good sleep. That it came down to the basic things, which is wonderful. Um, and I've just and through that process, I'm like caffeine, anything that's going to mess with
Mhm.
your heart in any way, and I have more energy once I stop because there was a time I was, trying to get by on energy drinks and things like that. And, hadn't had alcohol in 20 years or something like that. That had to go. Everybody wants to have a drink with you when you're doing a show. Do a shot. And I just had to cut that all out.
Well, how do you maintain the sleep? That must be the hardest part as an artist, from going
It
from
is.
city to city, long nights. How do you
Yeah,
manage
you're
that
up
daily?
because my show go time is 8, 9, 10 o'clock sometimes. And sometimes you're up at 3 a.m. or 4 a.m. to catch a flight. Um, I just try to get what I can get when I can get it.
Mhm. Is it hard?
um,
Is
huh?
it hard Is it hard managing when you do come home and you don't have a show, and now you're back to getting up at 7 a.m., 8 a.m., then going to bed at a reasonable time? Is it hard to manage that on a routine basis?
Uh, Not really, because you get home and you know, it's your surroundings, it's what you're around, really. I do the same routine when I get home. I have little boys too, and so I read to them, tell them a story. We talk every night before they go to bed, so that is a routine. And I try to get up pretty early if possible, just to make sure my clock gets reset. Um, it's all about habits, really, I think.
Now, I was reading some of the notes earlier that I was given. You had a respiratory illness when you were younger?
I did. Yeah.
What was it? What kind of Like
Yeah, I
what's
found this out later. It's kind of crazy. So I had a respiratory staph infection. Um, the crazy thing, the people that adopted me, Alan and Margaret Atkins, um, they had a baby boy that had the same thing that I had to a more severe degree, and he only lived a couple of weeks. And then I was in foster care. I was in a children's home called Holston Home for Children, and they told me through that time because of this the staph infection, I couldn't be touched by human hands. So there was a period of time that I was only touched by gloves. And they say when your synapses and everything is connecting, and when you're not touched by human hands, sometimes it can really mess you up. So I'm very lucky that God had another plan for me. You become, they say that's a way to become the deviants of society. um, and so it was a respiratory staph infection. And years later, when I forgot about this, when I got signed to Curb Records and was about to release music, they said they wanted to take an insurance policy out on me, because they were going to invest a lot of money in me and they wanted to make sure that they were covered. So they said, we need you to go to Vanderbilt Voice Center, have your throat checked out so we know you're in good shape. And I got there, and I'll never forget, they put the camera, the scope down my throat. Doctor came back and he said, what happened? What happened to you? I said, what do you mean what happened? He said, you've had some issues. Something has happened. You have more scar tissue than anybody I've ever seen. And he said, technically you shouldn't be singing, but you can. So obviously it's not an issue. Have you been sick? And I said, No." And then I thought about that. I said, like, actually I was when I was an infant, when I was really small, and told him what it was. And he said, there you go. And he thought I would have had sore throats and all kinds of trouble. But truthfully, I've never had to cancel a show in all these years for throat issues. And as I go back to get checked out there, he's basically said it's kind of, it protected you from having problems. So it was like a gift that could have been something I would not be singing for a living, that's for sure, to something that was a blessing that's protected me all these years.
how did you know? When did you first realize that hey, I can sing? I could be
Dude, I'm
really
still
good at
figuring that out. I'm still
this.
figuring that out. um, I just love to sing. I'll say that. When I was a little kid, I was very shy, and my dad directed choirs. My sister's a great singer. She took piano lessons, and that I only sang if I thought you couldn't hear me, like doing chores, cutting. My jobs were cut firewood and hauled hay, mowed the yard, and I would sing while I was doing that stuff. And I'd never really thought about getting up in front of people and singing. I wanted to write songs. That was my whole dream. I just always loved to sing and love music. And I still think I just have to work hard um, to do to do it at this level. You have to have a sound. You can't just fit in, and you can't sound like somebody else. You have to find your own sound and sing your own songs.
Now, with the background, with the illness background, do you take a different approach or a different mindset now that you've got to stay healthy? You've got to put a little more emphasis on it, meaning a little bit more, I guess, focus on your nutrition, on your weight room stuff, and all that.
Yeah, I want to stay healthy. I mean, I want to stay healthy for so that you enjoy the road. The road is brutal. I heard Merle Haggard say that you play for free every night, and that's true. You do, and you hopefully get paid for the bullshit, the travel, the grind, and everything. Like you said, just staying up late and getting up early and all that stuff. And I don't complain at all about what I get to do, but you want to enjoy it, and you want it to be, you want the people to enjoy it. And if you're up there just about to fall over and tired and exhausted, and that just sucks for everybody. And then the main thing, I want to be here for my family when I come home, and for my kids, and be focused and available. Um, because like the recent thing that I went through, when they're wanting to do biopsies and all this stuff, when you have your health, you don't think about it. But when one little blip comes up that you possibly have something going on, it's kind of everything. You
Mhm.
realize when something goes sideways like that. So, you know, I'm a calm guy. I'm pretty steady. Um, but I'm more hyper focused right now on keeping all your system firing. I remember years ago, um, when I was first started doing this, and I had some pro athlete friends. It was who was it? It was Todd Hilton, the home run hitting from the
Yeah,
Rockies.
Rockies.
And we were talking on the phone, and I was saying I was tired. Man, I'm killed. And he said, "I hear you, man. I hear you, man. Being on the road sucks." And I'm like, "Well, how do you do it?" He said, "Dude, when I'm tired, the first thing that goes is my vision. That's the first thing. It's just you rubbing your eyes. And when trying to hit a 90-mile-an-hour fastball when your eyes aren't working right is about impossible. You just got to really eat, sleep, do the things that you need to do." And he said, and what you do, you don't get to go in the dugout, take a break for a minute. You don't have a seventh inning stretch. You've got to go for 90 minutes straight every night. And after that, I talked to Keith Urban at one point, and he was talking about we have to stay fit like a prime athlete, no matter what we're doing, so that you enjoy this and it's not a big deal. And just ever since then, and that's been several years ago, I've tried to be aware of it and conscious of just staying fit in some capacity so that you can go out there and crush it every night. And because you can't do this for all these years and suck. You just can't do it. It doesn't work.
What do you do? What is your routine like now?
um, I mean, diet, I try to, eat more protein than carbs like everybody, and I don't eat a lot of sugar. Stuff with the little kids around. And my wife, Rose, oh my God, she's an amazing cook. She's into healthy eating, thank God, but she cooks everything from scratch. So sometimes she veers over and she's Italian, makes the greatest homemade lasagna on the planet. And so
Ooh.
occasionally we do that. Um, but you just try to, and it's about portions control, really. I'm into that. Um, Workout, and like if I'm not hitting it enough, occasionally we'll bring a trainer in. Like we just started back with a trainer the other day, and right now I can hardly walk. Going up steps is almost impossible. But just to get yourself in check, and it's just a good thing. Just being conscious of it all the time. Um, we just do the simple stuff. It's important for a man, especially my age, to push weight, I think, as much as you possibly can.
Mhm.
Um, that is the basics. It's not complicated. It's um, do free weights, drink a whole lot of water, and do a lot of core work, a lot of legs, the stuff that you hate to do, but you always feel better after you do it. And you learning to push yourself and being accountable for it really is kind of everything is also.
Do you do it at home or do you go to his gym or?
No, he comes to us.
Okay.
He comes to us, and sometimes I've got weights and things here. The dude, the trainer, when he comes, he brings a van full of stuff, medicine balls and dumbbells, and we'll just do it in the garage, the driveway. I've got a barn that's got Smith machines in it and stuff,
Oh wow.
wherever we are, and it's pretty fun. It's crazy, but it's fun.
What else you got there besides a Smith machine? That sounds pretty high
Um,
tech.
just weights, the basic legs, preacher seat, bench, or curl bar.
Mhm.
Um, Dumbbells, dumbbells, dumbbells. I do a lot of dumbbell stuff.
What do you think helps you the best? Like what do you think at the end of your workout makes you feel like I'm ready now to tackle 90 minutes at my best?
Um, the most important thing is rest, is getting enough sleep. Um, it's the simplest. Drinking a lot of water. The workout, legs. It's everything with the legs.
Mhm.
I played baseball in college. and I wound up being a pitcher. And I'll never forget when we started working out. Everybody else is hitting and doing all their stuff, and pitchers ran. All we did was friggin' run. He took us out, would drop us off somewhere on the highway, and say, "I'll meet you back at the school." I
Yeah, you're the
went
second
to
part.
I went to junior college in East Tennessee, Walter State. Great baseball program. And all we did as pitchers was run. We barely threw, we ran. And I'm like, why do we run so much? This is insane. Hated running. And he
Yeah,
said, because that's your endurance. That's where you get power. That's how you can go and go and go. Your legs are everything.
yeah, you're
And I
the.
guess I've just always remembered that.
Yeah, I think Brian Kelly said the same thing when he Florida State that he all he did was run the steps time after time.
It
What?
sucked at the time. It sucked.
Right, I thought pitchers they just threw in the bullpen all for 2 hours
You
every
would
day.
think.
You're wrong,
No,
huh?
very little throwing. He's like, you wear your arm out.
You do any conditioning now as far as just keeping the cardio up?
Yeah, now a show, that is one thing that a show is every night. That's cardio. That's some deep breathing and yeah, I'll try to get on a treadmill. I definitely keep moving, whether it's I'll do kind of some not a lot of running, um jog, walk, run, mix it up, and I hit treadmills all over the place.
Mhm. What was your pitching
And
like?
not
What
a
was your
lot, not a lot, but a couple miles tops.
what was your pitching background? What was your stats back in the day?
Oh, dude. In high school, I was a baller. I was bringing it in high school. Um, I actually got signed to the junior college as a catcher, believe it or not. I don't even remember how that happened because I hardly caught. In high school, I pitched and played third. Um, but then they saw that I had an arm, and so was doing short relief. And I had some good runs, but man, at that junior college, it was a bunch of kids that were all drafted out of high school, and just they were all pros were looking at them. Every game was full of the scouts behind the backstop. Walter State, look them up. It's an incredible baseball school. Very proud to have gone there. But what I came to realize is how good I wasn't compared to these guys. And that's back when the coach there was a scout, I think, for the Royals,
Mhm.
and they had just signed Bo Jackson.
Oh
It was
wow.
back then, and it was a lot of fun. But I carried my guitar. That had a lot to do with me singing. I carried my guitar when we had road trips on the bus. The guys would always want me to sing and play songs, and we'd all sing together. And that's kind of where I first started playing around other people, was just the dudes on the baseball team. We just hang out. We're singing Hank Williams Jr. or whatever. It was a lot of fun, but that's where I started playing in front of people and having fun with
I
it.
did the pitching staff in Nashville's got to be all-star level. I said, yeah, you, Brett Young, you had Morgan, I think Ernest, and Brian Kelly.
That's funny. Yeah,
Yeah, the
I guess so.
murder.
Yeah, a lot of guys play. Who now did Riley Green play baseball, or he was football? I think.
He's
I'm going
quarterback.
with it.
What do you think the
Okay.
correlation is between elite sports and music? Because I probably everyone I've ever interviewed, I'll say 9.5 out of 10. I played college football, college baseball at some point in their life, their careers. How do you make the switch to music then?
Kind of wild. I don't really know. Now I see the relationship is in travel. We all have to travel. Um, I don't know. I think that there's something about music that is about camaraderie. It's about collaborations with each other. It's some singers, their jam is to you sit there. I'm going to stand here and I'm going to sing right at you, and you're going to listen to me, and I'm going to knock you out. And then there's what I do, which is not that. It's I'm going to start a song, but we're singing this together. This is about us doing this. I don't think I could do this if it was just about me having to do these performances and everybody just sit there and do nothing. Years ago, when I started recording um, and playing guitar a little bit, singing in some bars, and I realized if I sang a song and the people sang with me, I'm not alone up there. And I think in sports, it's the same vibe. It just feels the same on the teams when you're really doing something together, whatever sport it is. Um, And it feels that way to me. It's very similar to uh to just being in it together. And there's a thing about you're doing it in front of an audience. That feels very similar. I've thought about that before. It's kind of the same. You come cheering for, you're not cheering for a sport, but for a team, for your players. And at shows, you're cheering for that song or that moment. Um, it's very similar in the way it feels where you perform it at, I think.
Well, does it take an athlete's mindset? I mean, to make it to this level of music? I mean,
I think so.
I'm assuming you're starting at the ground level again. Once you know in baseball, you're starting out, I guess, doing local clubs, local bars. How do you keep the mindset that you know what? I'm quitting sports and I'm going to be really good at music.
It's drive. Yeah, you got to have an insane amount of drive. And because basically you're self-employed. It's up to you to have that motivation to get up and do something every day. Um, just the motivation, the drive, uh, there's a fire that you have to compete. Like you hear about the greats in sports. Michael Jordan, just the competition is his fuel. And to do music, I mean, you really have to want it, and you have to not get caught up in all the no's that you get. You got to be willing. And even especially when I started out, there was no, let's write a song today and post it, and a million people can hear that song. If I wanted 20 people to hear me sing, it was grassroots. You had to get in a car or a plane or a bus and drive to play for 20 or 30 people, and then drive to another town, then drive to another town over and over and over. Um, and I think that's important, and it's missed a lot of these days because people are, they can perform for 30 seconds on a social media post, but put them up there and for them to try to hold a crowd for 60 minutes or 75 minutes, they kind of don't know how to do it. They can do it for 30 seconds. And I think it's all necessary. Social media makes it much easier, but um, really, I just think that being able to have the drive to make yourself get up every day and not phone it in. You can't phone it in and do this.
How long did it take you? I mean, was it something where you know, I don't know if I'm going to make it. This grind is a little too much for me, or was it a moment where you say, you know what, now I think I can do this? Was there any defining moments like that, or?
I'd never thought I couldn't. I always thought if I worked hard enough
Mhm.
that something good could happen. Um, but so I signed my record deal in '96, and it was 10 years before I had a number one. I was there just trying to figure it out and try things. And the label that says a lot about them, Curb Records, that they allowed me to learn who I was, and to artist development is a thing, but it's, I don't know if people do that anymore, to really believe in an artist and help them shape and turn themselves into who they are and not try to make them sound like everything that's out there. Um, but yeah, there was a lot of times that I questioned if it would happen. Um, because yeah, it was 10 years before I ever had a number one song.
But what do you tell like your kids now about your kids or even up and coming musicians about the work that it takes to be on top? Is there any lessons learned now that can be applied in this new era?
Um, just that, man. Just find your own voice, write songs. I think that's important. Um, and find your own voice. We all hear somebody and think, man, they're cool. And you kind of will sing like them to a degree. But it's so important to find your own voice at this level. You have to. You don't want to get lost in singing songs like somebody else, like now, who's Morgan Wallen. There is a Morgan Wallen. He's the best Morgan Wallen ever. But you got 30 other dudes that are just trying to do what he does. and it's very important to separate yourself somehow. Um, and that takes a minute. Just like I said, when I started out, I wasn't singing the same songs that other people were singing. Um, and I did that intentionally. Even when I started, I was uh I was caught a lot of flack because I wore a ball cap to events and on stage because then it was either cowboy hats or no hats. And I got bad looks. I remember the red carpet I was on with a ball cap, and now it's kind of everywhere and it seems crazy. But I was intentionally trying to separate myself from everyone else.
How many hats do you own?
Oh, I don't even know. In my room, there's probably 20 in my room. I've
What,
given away tons.
if I'm not mistaken, you're from Tennessee, right? You're born and raised Knoxville.
East Tennessee, yeah, born in Knoxville.
Mhm. So were you a Vols fan for life?
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
funny.
yeah, you got to be. You got to be. Yeah, when I grew up on my wall, I had a poster of Johnny Majors back then, man. Love
Oh
Johnny
yeah, he's the
Majors.
old pit coach. But
Yeah.
back just a random thought. I was watching, just happened on TV yesterday, was the Lane Kiffin story. And
Oh, wow.
I forgot all about his Tennessee to USC story. Is he as hated in Knoxville as much as the show picked him out to be?
There for a while, yeah, I think it was pretty pretty brutal on him, though. He was a good dude. I met him one time. He seemed like a good guy, though.
Mhm. Now, have you ever sung the national anthem for a Vols game?
Not a Vols game. I've sung it at a lot of sporting events. My first national anthem. So in East Tennessee, we had the Vols, but no, there was no Titans back then. So I'd never been to an NFL game. And after I signed my record deal and was out playing some shows, I was invited to sing the national anthem for the first time, and it was Monday Night Football at Lambeau Field.
Oh,
And it was crazy. It was an experience, man. First time I'd ever done that. It was awesome. It was amazing because they treat everybody like family up there.
mhm.
And so I've sung it a few times, never at a Vols game though.
Now, is that as hard as everyone says it is to sing that song?
I don't know if it's that hard. It's just you freak yourself out because you're alone. You're singing where there's not music happening. That's the only time music is happening, and people can be brutal if you make a mistake or something. But a few times I've had to sing it, and the words weren't up there on the jumbotron somewhere, and
Oh,
that you'll freak yourself out a little bit. But I try to just stay true to it and do the best that I can, and usually it works out great. Like, I've sung a lot of Major League Baseball games and some NASCAR events.
forgot was what's coming up next now for Rodney Atkins? What's next as far as albums, tours?
Um, I've got a brand new album. We've released a few songs over the course of the year just with DSPs, but we're coming. Uh, going to do three more songs. Rose is setting us up with writing appointments for a new album to probably drop around May.
Mhm.
Um, and yeah, I'm excited. It's all brand new music. It's a lot of fun. Uh, I don't think I've ever been excited for a group of songs. And it's just, yeah, that's really what's going on. We're touring, we're playing a ton of dates and going out playing all over the country. And it was a great year this year. And look at next year, I think will be even better. We'll be, you know, putting stuff out on the radio next year and just really, really hitting it, man. We're taking it up. We're having the best time I think I've had in probably 15
That's fun.
years.
That's great. Is it still as fun today as it was 20 years ago, 25 years ago?
Oh, it's more fun. There's less pressure you don't go, I wonder if they're going to like what I do. You don't, that goes away. You're just in it. I still get nervous. I
Mhm.
think if I didn't get nervous, I'd probably quit. Um, and just the energy, that adrenaline is amazing. And it's as much fun or more fun than it's ever been.